What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Sarah here, the accidental handmade business owner. Now, normally I cover a lot of content around soap making, but I don't want anyone to forget that my channel is not just about making soaps and melt and pour recipes. It is very much encompassing all possible bath and body products that you may want to offer in your business as well. So we are taking a break from soap. We'll be circling back to it very, very shortly. But today I wanted to talk about bath soaks. Bath soaks are super popular and in fact my very best seller. I've had multiple large wholesale orders regarding it and some retail sales of it as well. I would say in both sides of my business, wholesale and resale, bath soaks have really the sale of bath soaks have really skyrocketed for me personally. So I thought today would be great to do a kind of like a do's and don'ts of making bath soaks video. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, as always, we do have a quick side note. Today is Valentine's Day, or I'm filming at least on Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. And I did have some people asking if they could see my belly. If you haven't watched one of my videos before, I am in my third trimester. I'm down to the 2 weeks between appointments. So I guess I should also let you know, like randomly, if you just stop seeing me for a couple of weeks, it's because I had my baby. So I'll pop in like a little Valentine's Day maternity outfit just so you guys can see what the belly looks like. All right, so we're gonna go over the do's, the don'ts, some mistakes to avoid, just some overall tips, packaging. We'll talk about all of it from beginning to end. And if there's time in this video, I'll put a demo, but if this part of the video gets too long, then I will make the actual demo and creation of the product in like a part 2 that I will post for you next week. So first of all, what is a bath soak? Now, if you are a bath and body product business owner, you likely already know this information, but just like a quick summary of what a bath soak is. Essentially, you're mixing a bunch of different salts together, adding some additional ingredients, maybe you have some additives or some dried botanicals, but essentially you're creating a blend of salts that a person or customer would dump into their bathtub and sit in. So what happens is the salts and other essential oils, additives, whatever, they melt down in the warm water of the tub, and then they just leave your skin feeling, one, nourished, but they also have the added benefit of being known to reduce muscle aches and muscle pains, just really provide that calming environment that everyone's looking for in a bath. They do wonders for relieving stress, and coming from the perspective of a newer handmade business owner, they are a nice product to start with because they're relatively inexpensive to make when you consider it compared to like a really nice bath bomb or a really nice soap recipe. They're relatively inexpensive and way harder to mess up or ruin or have to scrap because it didn't turn out right. Before making your bath soaks, as always, I highly recommend this for any project or product that you might be considering adding to your product line. You definitely need to check out, do some research and check out the ingredients that you are adding. You want to know why you put baking soda in the blend. You want to know what the purpose of having these dried botanicals or essential oils is. You should always know what the ingredient is doing for your product or your blend before adding it in. That way you can determine whether or not that recipe or that formulation is a good fit for your brand. Then obviously this is a no-brainer. You're gonna need to order or purchase any supplies that you need, including packaging. And I know I hound on packaging a lot, but it's because it's always been kind of like the thing that I've forgotten in my business. You know, I've always been able to remember, okay, I need this, and this to make this soap, right? That's not the problem. But where I always fall short is finishing or following through with like the packaging aspect of it. So when I started making bath salts, I got these little envelopes here. They're really cute. They're resealable, iridescent envelopes. from, and these were from Amazon. And there's just like a little pouch. They have like a clear front and an iridescent back, and then here is the back of it. Very cute. They're resealable, very inexpensive, and this holds about 4 or 5 ounces of a bath salt, which I thought was a great amount to start out with. So this is where I started. As far as this packaging goes, I didn't have any problems with it. I didn't have any customer complaints with it. But as I've been working on my formulations and really upgrading all of my products and packaging, I have decided that I no longer want to carry these. I have moved into jars. So here's a close-up of what mine currently look like. These are 6-ounce jars. I'll talk about sizing a little bit later in the video, but these are 6-ounce PET plastic jars with black lids. If you saw my product supply video, you've already seen these, but I did also get these, same jar, but with a white lid. I just can't figure out which one quite has the aesthetic that I am looking for. So I have both of these options. I wouldn't be surprised if I ended up switching to white. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, this is what mine looks like. And honestly, I'm very glad that I switched to the jar. I know I can't decide between the lids of it, but the lids but when it comes down to it, just overall, the pouch was nice, but it was very beginner, in my opinion, just because of the market that I am looking to reach. This is way more fun, and like it's all shiny and everything, so that might be good for your customers. Again, you just got to figure out, you know, who exactly you're selling your products to determine which one of these options might be better. Now, a lot of people put them in like apothecary jars with little cork lids. I think that's adorable. Again, as always, there's no one way for everyone to do their business. Figure out what speaks to you and your customers and do that. Next up, you want to figure out why people would buy your product, what's going to make it different, what's your unique selling perspective, and why they should choose yours over someone else's. Then finally, as always with Bath & Body products, we need to be very, very diligent as the maker that they are preserved as best possible in like a hygienic state. And by that, I mean, how will you seal your finished product to ensure freshness? So I purchased these little guys. They are foam seal liners, and I got them off of Amazon. They were very inexpensive, especially considering what it's going to add to your product. You know, that extra step of care, you know, or proof that this is not just something you made in your kitchen, that it's like a legitimate business, and that it's safe and clean to use. So I get those. You could also get like the little heat shrink seals that go around the top. Those are another great option. I'll link what I can find for you and the ones that I use down below. And finally, are you going to add anything additional to your product? And by that, I don't mean like an additive that goes into it. I mean any extras alongside of it. So for example, will you provide a little scoop or a little spoon? Will you add extra botanicals in a little baggie on the side just in case someone wants them? Or what if they don't want them, but they really want the scent that you have? You know, you could offer them on the side in a little bag and not in the product at all. So just take those things into consideration. Look for inspiration wherever you find inspiration and see what you like and what you may not like or what. Okay, let's get into the do's of making bath soaks. Number one, first and foremost, most important, always, always, always make sure that you do look up your state labeling guidelines. Now, you definitely want to make sure that you're following everything that your state has laid out as far as what is required for a handmade product. I know in Maryland we have to put kind of like a shelf life type of information on our product label and also a warning. So my warning here says, warning for external use only, discontinue if irritation occurs, product could make tub slippery. And I think that no matter where you live, whether or not that's a requirement, I do think that's good information to have on your label, just to make consumers aware, but definitely check out your state and make sure you're following your state's guidelines. And my other do here is to make sure that you have some solid keywords on your product or in your product description online, wherever it is that you're talking about this product. Add things in there like relaxing or calming or soothing. Maybe you want to include that they're luxury salts, or maybe you have like a super unique ingredient in there. You definitely want to talk about that as much as we possibly can. That goes again back to unique selling perspective, which, you know what, that reminds me, I need to start like looking into that series that I want, because I do want to make a series about that. But regardless, labeling it as specifically and as nicely as possible with those keywords that people may be searching for will definitely help you get your product found faster. All right, let's talk about things that we need to avoid. Unfortunately, this list is a little bit longer than the do's. First of all, avoid coloring your product with mica powder. For the same reason that I have learned that you should not be coloring your bath bombs with mica powder, this also applies here. If you color all of your salts or all of your soap with mica powder, it will leave a residue or a color ring in your customer's bathtub. And we all know that nobody's going to be happy about that, okay? This is a definite no on the repurchase. So my 3 recommendations for this would be, first of all, you could offer a non-colored salt. I have, this is my rose petal salt right here. It has botanicals in it, but I do not color it at all. It still looks very nice. And then I also have, this is my wild coconut, same thing. I don't color it at all. Those are all wildflower dried botanicals. That's a really nice alternative to coloring the product. Second, you could use bath bomb lakes or dyes, though that will drive your product price up because they are more expensive. That is another option for you. Or third, you could just do like a little section here and there of colored micas. So if you were to have like your whole 6-ounce jar here, and maybe you do a layer of color down at the bottom and then like a layer of color towards the middle, it's very, very minimal and less likely to leave that color ring in your customer's tub. If you color yours in a different way, definitely let me know down below. I'd love to hear it. Second, you need to avoid fragrancing your product and then immediately putting it away. Those oils, whether they be essential oils or fragrance oils, anytime you're adding a liquid to a mostly solid product, whether it be an oil or whatever based liquid, anytime you have that liquid, you need to let it fully dry before you package it, okay? This is a common mistake that I see that I have also made. I've made lavender bath soaks, and you know, over time they became chunky. They looked fine, they worked fine, they felt fine, but like they were like very chunky in the bottle. I couldn't figure it out, but that's what it is. If you plan to add any sort of liquid, whether it be dyes or fragrances, you need to let it air dry for at least 24 hours. I like to set mine out for 3 days just to be on the safe side. You need those oils and dyes to dry before you package. That, first of all, improves the longevity, and second, avoids getting those chunks in your product. Okay, now this one may be an unpopular opinion. However, I would absolutely avoid calling them bath salts. Dang, from 2012, oh my goodness. Bath salts really got a bad rap in 2012, if you can believe it. I can't believe it. That was what a crazy time to be alive. I know like right now is a crazy time to be alive, but if you are old enough to remember that, like what a crazy time that was. Okay, so anyway, the term bath salts really got a bad rap in 2012 when people were seemingly attacking other people and turning into face-eating cannibals after eating bath salts. So personally, I don't think that people ever got over that, and I have noticed that since changing my wording on my product labels and in my descriptions and all of those things, since I've changed them to bath soak versus bath salts, there's been a higher increase of people clicking on and following through with the purchase of that item. So avoid bath salts if at all. Avoid the term bath salts if at all possible. And finally, you definitely need to make sure that you are avoiding making any medical claims. Obviously, I recommend this for absolutely every product that you are creating. You should never make a medical claim unless you are an actual doctor who has studied that, okay? I am no doctor, I'm a science teacher. So for me, making a medical claim doesn't really make sense. Now, but again, make sure that you're being honest and truthful with things that you can prove on your product label. There's a huge difference in saying muscle relieving soap versus completely heals all muscle pains permanently. Don't make those claims unless you can support them. Without support, you should absolutely not be making those claims. And that could really open you up to a lot of legal trouble. And finally, I think I said my last one was finally, but this one is an actual final one. My final thing to avoid would be having odd pricing. There are a couple of factors that go into this, such as your product base or the type of products that you sell in general, your customer base, those sorts of things, the size of the product that you are offering. But in my experience, offering, say, a 2-ounce bottle of bath soak for $10 is going to sit on your shelf for quite some time. If you think about it like this, right? So I offer my 6-ounce bottle, okay? And I believe the price is $12. In my opinion, a 6-ounce bottle would last you 3 different baths. So if you break it down that way, someone is paying $4 per bath to use this product. That sounds a lot nicer than offering a 2-ounce bottle that a person could enjoy in 1 bath and adding $10 to each bath that they're taking. So for me personally, it's always been a lot easier to kind of look at it that way. How many times could a person enjoy that bath with that product, and how much, like what specific dollar amount is it adding per bath? And I think that a lot of customers would also feel that way. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. I'm definitely not gonna have time to do the demo today. So if you're interested in seeing from start to finish how I make these bath soaks that I have, that I offer in my business, then definitely come back next week after you hit that subscribe button today. All right, I'll see you guys then. Bye.